managing our busy lives can get very complex, very easy, and it can become overwhelming. I know for me personally, I have to really keep everything under control as far as what I'm doing and where I'm going because I have a lot of irons in the fire, and so I want to make sure that I do everything to the best of my ability. So let's talk a little bit about not living in our inbox and actually living through task management. I'm going to show you just briefly how to use a task management tool. We're going to use Asana, and it's task, T-A-S-K, not tax, T-A-X. So I know it kind of slurs sometimes. I apologize. So task management. So here, let's just say this is something that I need to take a look at. So I'm going to go ahead and assign it to myself. I know just by glancing at it, I don't have to look a whole lot here. They're looking for some input from me. So great. So I'm just going to hit forward, Control F on my keyboard. I'm going to type in X, which is mail at Asana. So I'm going to hit go, and then I'm going to hit let it rip, right? Send it. Okay, and as soon as it sends it, it's going to send it over into my task management, and I can quickly delete that. For me, I like to get out of my inbox as quickly as I possibly can because what I find for myself, let me refresh this real quick. What I find for myself is that when we live in our inbox and we're just kind of reactively answering things that are kind of all over the map, it's very difficult for us to prioritize anything and to really get a lot done. So when we move it into tasks, we can think about it more systematically and allow us to plug things in based on priority and things that are important for that day and get those things done first. And then we can move on to things that don't matter as much. And so I move everything that isn't a 1 minute response, I move into task management. I happen to use Asana. There are several task managers out there. I like some of the flexibility and the mobility of Asana, and that real cool feature where you just type in X at mail.asana.com, and based on your email address that it's coming from, it'll throw it into different groups that you may have. So, for example, I have multiple. You can have multiple groups, different groups of projects, right, that you have going on within your environment. So again, let's go ahead and I didn't want to make this a 20-minute video, so let's be quick here. So this is Asana. I'm just going to click on My Tasks. So if you're not familiar with Asana, go and view other videos that I have done on this topic. But here I'm just going to hit My Tasks real quick, and then we'll go over here to My View, and I'm going to hit Task by Project. And the reason why I list it by project is because when you forward things through the mail, you can actually, with special email addresses, forward them right into these specific folders. I never do that because I never want to set all that up. So I just put it into general, and it goes into this folder right here called No Project. All right. And so within this folder, now I can move this information around within my system. So let's look at two examples here of moving information. First of all is Alien Vault Sim. So I'm just going to click on that. And this is a response that I got back on a question that I had asked via email. So I'm going to hit Control A and then Control X. And I'm going to place that information down in my comment box. And the reason why I do that is because see how I can hit See More? I can see the rest of the information. I don't like it all just clogging up my screen there. And then I can type in a description here if I wanted to. All right, so let's go ahead and see what the deal is with this. Where do I need to put this? Do I need to add it to a project? Or because it has this dash right here, it means that it's come from a bigger email thread. So I'm going to hit here, I'm going to hit Merge Tasks. And you see how that task right there has two dashes in it? I put 2 or 3 dashes in it. That means that I asked a question and this was a response or some additional information. I want to add this information to this task. I just simply hit Merge Tasks. And I don't know what that thing is. It flashed on the screen, by the way. But here, you notice here that it says it's closed it. It no longer appears over here in my No Project list. And it dumped it into here, into this task. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see how that happened. Here we have the task. Here we have some notes and information that I sent out. And if you notice down here at the bottom, it says duplicate. that is the task that I just forwarded over there. So again, if I click on it, and it says duplicate here, this is that task. All right, so it's closed. Now, if I want to look at this information, I can look at it, and I'm going to move that out to Monday so I can review it. And I'm going to put a subtask in here. See how these subtasks are here? I'm going to just say um, review merged message. And then I'll put the date 325. All right, and that's it. And then I know that when I come in for the next time and I look at this, it's going to be there. So that's one way that we can merge information into one section so that it's easy to manage and we're not spending our time in our inbox. Let's look at another way to deal with these no project type of emails that we're sending over. Note here that all of these have something, right? The three, and these are, just they're not emails necessarily that I sent out, so I have to look at those. But let's look at this one here. This one we literally just sent this over. Again, I hit Control A, Control X, and I move it down here into this section because I don't like it all clogging up. And that logo right there, somebody put behind, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that here. Notice it'll delete it down here in a minute. So, and then here is a solicitation that was attached to the email. So the email attachment actually came over, and you can see here as well, it's in there. So this is already integrated into Asana. So if it's sensitive information, you don't want to be forwarding it out everywhere. Okay, so I don't know, I have no idea what they're asking here. So again, I'm just going to say review, right, and task out. So I'll take a look at it on Monday and review it and task it out. I'm not sure what it is, so I can do that. And then as far as placement, where do I add that project? Well, for right now, I just add it to general because I'm not sure what it's about. So I'm just going to hit general until later. And then I can always come back in here and I can change this information if I want, or I can see what's in general. Lots of good features here. So, and then there's that task again. All right. So that's one very easy way kind of manage our tasks. We can see there's the task. I can also go into this view and move it around. So there's lots of nice things that I can do as I work and visualize. Sometimes it's easier for me to visualize here. I have no idea what that monster thing was. And I can kind of move things around and see when they're done, when I need to do them. So it just makes it easier for me personally. So it's a real nice and simple way to work through things, and I can do it while I'm sitting here talking to you as well. So that's one way. The other thing I wanted to mention was the usage of tabs and and tags, excuse me. So I prioritize everything so that I can see everything that has a priority 1 on it or a priority 2. I assign these tags for myself so that I can see. I also put in other ones like no date, for example, and I use these consistently on all of my projects. So no date meaning I never assigned a date, but I gave it a priority, so I can go in there and take a look and see why there's no date on there. I can also see here waiting, for example, a tag called waiting. So I'm waiting on somebody else to do something. So all of these are easy and quick ways to help you manage your information within Asana. Again, it's all about management. I do not delete things here. I keep them all for record so that I could, you know, for example, if I wanted to know what that trade show one said, I could just do trade show and I can pull up that task and all the information related to it. It's lime green there, so I know that it's done, but I do that. And some people like to only show incomplete tasks. You can do that as well. So hopefully this is helpful in understanding how you can better manage your tasks, be more efficient, and be able to stay on top of everything that's going on in your life. Oh, one last thing before I go. If I get a task in the middle of the day, I'm just, all of a sudden I'm in a meeting and I need to task something out, I do one of two things. One is I have Asana loaded on my mobile devices so I can just quickly create a task in any one of the projects. I can also just send myself an email message with that task. And I send it from my email address of the section I want it in. So for example, this one, I send it from my at hpe.com, and then it automatically dumps it into that no project area. And then I can address it just like I showed you earlier.